Welcome, Welcome, everyone. Thank you for being here to celebrate a truly historic day in the life of the University of Kentucky College of Law. I am your interim dean, Mary Davis, and on behalf of this special community of talented and engaged students, of world-class faculty, scholars, and educators, of dedicated professional staff and administrators, I welcome you to this major event announcement ceremony. This College of Law, founded in 1908, has a tradition of excellence and commitment to educating the best and brightest capable lawyers and future leaders of this Commonwealth and this nation. Today is an exceptional day in the life of this very special institution. I have the privilege of introducing to you the university's leaders in order to welcome you and also to announce this major event. University of Kentucky Board of Trustees Chair Robert Vance is a graduate of the University of Kentucky, both its business and law schools. We're particularly proud of that law degree. Chairman Vance spent most of his career in banking, serving as chairman or senior officer of several banking institutions throughout Kentucky, Ohio, and Indiana. He recently retired as the secretary of the Kentucky Public Protection Cabinet, having acted as head since December 2007. As secretary, he oversaw the Department of Financial Institutions, Department of Insurance, Department of Housing, Buildings, and Construction, and very importantly, the Kentucky Horse Racing Commission. He has served on the Board of Trustees since 2014 and was recently elected by his peers to be chair of the board in 2019. Please welcome UK Board of Trustees Chairman Robert Vance.
Thank you, Dean Davis. On behalf of the University of Kentucky Board of Trustees, it is my pleasure and honor to welcome you to this historic day in the life of our university and of the College of Law. I want to start by recognizing two former board members who continue to serve by co-chairing our capital campaign. Paul Chelgren, who could not be with us today, and Myra Ball, who's graciously joined us today. It is a particular meaningful day for me. I have 2 degrees from UK, as the dean pointed out, both an undergraduate and College of Law. I know how important both are to this community, to the Commonwealth, and that we all serve, and the world beyond our borders. UK law graduates have represented what President Capilouto often says is the goal of education, to be the university for, of, and with Kentucky. Our graduates have been mayors, legislators, governors, and senators. They have led businesses, corporations, and nonprofits. They have prosecuted crimes, defended people in need, and championed causes that bolster communities and strengthen our freedoms. The person we are to hear from in a few moments powerfully symbolizes and represents this commitment. I'm delighted to be here today to celebrate this historic moment for UK and for the University of Kentucky College of Law. Thank you for being here, and thank you for your commitment to for Kentucky's university.
Thank you, Chairman Vance. Excuse me. It is now my honor to introduce to you the University of Kentucky's president, Eli Capilouto. President Capilouto's term began in 2011. Since that time, and throughout his term, he has dedicated himself to the mission of this university to enhance and expand the opportunity for our students and all Kentuckians to achieve what is possible through teaching, research, community engagement, and our healthcare system. Through his passionate commitment, our university has been transformed, both physically, around you, and most importantly, in our enhanced capacity to serve and support our students on their own journeys to what is possible for them and therefore also for all Kentuckians. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome President Eli Capilouto.
Thank you, and since you recognize this, we had a strong partner in this, Governor Beshear, and thank you, sir, for doing that. David and Diane Rosenberg are kind, thoughtful, decent, and selfless people. This is evident today as we bear witness to their gift, their investment to the future of the University of Kentucky College of Law. Their generosity specifically supports students, faculty, and programs, all of which are the heartbeat of Sanctuaries of Learning. With deep appreciation, I am extremely pleased and grateful to announce the Rosenbergs' generous investment of $20 million. Thank you. This is the third largest gift or investment in the university's history. This endowment will preserve and enhance a precious legacy of excellence birthed in 1908 when this college was founded. David and Diane's compassion and graciousness manifests itself in oh so many ways. And I too have been a recipient of their thoughtfulness. In the many hours that David and I have spent together, we have uncovered commonalities. Not only are we the same age, but our stories are alike. Our parents or grandparents immigrated to this country between 1880 and 1920, after which our country pretty much closed its doors to immigration, making it nearly impossible for other family members and co-religionists to escape Nazi Germany's extermination. David and I are descendants of those without an education, driven to make certain their children and their children's children would know its promise. And lastly, we bond over the unique experience of growing up Jewish in a segregated South. On one of my many trips to Cincinnati, David asked me to meet him at the American Jewish Archives located on the campus of Hebrew University. To my surprise and amazement, David had made possible a display across long tables of letters, ledgers, programs, and many more materials from the Sephardic Jewish or Spanish Jewish community founded in 1910 in Montgomery, Alabama by my grandfather and further immigrants and other immigrants, some 100 families who followed him there from the island of Rhodes off the coast of Turkey. I was moved and touched. Through more materials honored in the archives, we are able to get a better understanding of why many people say America was the first country in history to welcome Jews to full citizenship. In the early 1940s, when Jacob Rader Marcus, the great American Jewish historian, began to collect artifacts, letters, papers, and photographs for what became the American Jewish Archives. He visited the world's greatest collector of Judaica in New York City, a renowned bibliophile named Dr. A.S.W. Rosenbach. When Marcus asked if Rosenbach had any papers of significance to Jews, Rosenbach took Marcus to a vault and pointed to an old yellowing document that was on the floor. Rosenbach said, This is the most important document I own." When Marcus picked it up, he saw it was an original copy of the Bill of Rights. So there are other significant documents of American history that I've learned are important to David Rosenberg. The Declaration of Independence, the Constitution, Plessy versus Ferguson, Brown versus the Board of Education, Obergefell versus Hodges, just to name a few. And in our discussing the Provincials, a book by Eli Evans that we both read in the early 70s, we found our mutual appreciation for lesser known landmarks of religious freedom. One was George Washington's letter to the Touro Synagogue in Newport, Rhode Island. Arriving in Rhode Island after his inauguration, President Washington campaigning with Thomas Jefferson for the passage of his Bill of Rights, and responding to a letter of good wishes by the leader of the Touro congregation, the president proclaimed a call for the ages. To bigotry, no sanction, he wrote. To persecution, no assistance. But he had a less quoted idea that has profound relevance for us today. He viewed tolerance not simply as the indulgence of one class for another, but as part of our inherent natural rights. Our country still struggles to fully grant these rights, and just grudgingly tolerating one another is not the way to get there. And David Rosenberg knows that laws, lawyers, and colleges of law are fundamental to our democracy, justice, fairness, and a free and pluralistic society. His appreciation for this was ignited in this very College of Law by professors he holds in reverence to this day. David and Diane's benevolence and genuine concern for others extends far beyond their Jewish community. They are active participants in the broader civic and organizational life of their beloved Cincinnati. They understand that a better community for all makes a better community for those who may be members of minority communities. And this is why you will find David and Diane in servant leadership of Jewish, civic, and arts communities in Cincinnati. In recent months, these cheerful givers, David and Diane, underwrote an original opera based on blind injustice, a book by Mark Godsey, co-founder of the Ohio Innocence Project, a program affiliated with the Cincinnati College of Law that has led to the exoneration and release of nearly 30 individuals from prison who were wrongly convicted and incarcerated for crimes they did not commit. This program has been one of the most successful in the country. They recently funded the commission of the Cincinnati Symphony Orchestra of Symphony No. 6 by Christopher Rouse that premiered recently in Cincinnati. And today they have invested in the future of the University of Kentucky College of Law students. As a testament to his generosity, his indomitable commitment to just communities where everybody feels that they belong, and his pursuit of a life of exemplary meaning and purpose, I am pleased and proud to recommend to the University of Senate and the Board of Trustees of our university that the College of Law be named the University of Kentucky J. David Rosenberg College of Law. With honor, I present to you J. David Rosenberg.
Wow. Thank you, President Capolito. I appreciate your warm, personal, inspiring words on this very special day. President Capolito, if I may be so bold as to call you Eli, I have so enjoyed getting to know and spending time with you. I thought our first meeting about a year ago might be a quick 15-minute handshake, meet and greet. 2 hours later, we were still enjoying each other, having discovered so much in our shared histories and values of which you just spoke. Your vision for our university, for what it can mean for the Commonwealth and broader world, is compelling and captivating. What has happened over the last decade under your leadership on this campus has been transformational. I am proud to claim your warm friendship and look forward to many times together with you. Our thanks go to many people for today. Tom Barker, a graduate of this College of Law, and Mike Ritchie from the university's Office of Philanthropy helped us think through how we might maximize the impact of our gift. We had a vision to ensure the recruitment of outstanding students and faculty for generations to come. Tom and Mike helped us develop the details and structure that brought that vision to reality. From my earliest dream of making today's gift to the College of Law, my wife of 32 years, Diane, has been the most enthusiastic supporter. In Cincinnati, Diane has long been known for her dedication, leadership, and tireless efforts on behalf of so many causes and organizations important to our city. In short, Diane makes a difference every day. Diane, I'm proud of all you've accomplished. I care deeply about your happiness. I love you dearly. Please. I thank my many friends from Cincinnati who've contributed so much to my law practice and career. Indulge me in sharing with you how a boy from Lexington ended up making Cincinnati his home. In fall 1973, the first oil embargo had occurred, the U.S. economy was in downturn, and I was heading for graduation in a few months, unemployed. I had sent resumes to many law firms, had a few courtesy interviews, but was nearing the point of looking for office space in Lexington in which to hang out my shingle the following spring. A 1971 graduate of this law school was sent down to Lexington from his Cincinnati law firm to interview prospective associates. That lawyer was Rick Siegel. The law firm was Keating, Muthing, and Kleekamp, and the rest is history. Several of my KMK colleagues are here today, including 5 who are graduates of this College of Law. Others include Alan Firstman, KMK's managing partner, Paul Muthing, who served as managing partner for over 25 years. Paul's father, John Muthing, founder of our firm, was my teacher, mentor, senior partner for sound judgment, and my dearest friend. Joe Rouse, my partner, friend, colleague, and personal and professional advisor, has provided me with wisdom and sound judgment for the last 45 years. His expertise helped me structure today's gift to the College of Law. Nancy Laykamp, my assistant for the last 34 years, is with us today. Nancy is a lifelong Kentuckian. Thank you for your assistance, tolerance, patience, humor, and support, both in and out of the office, which have contributed mightily to all my success. Diane's and my close friends, Renee and Rabbi Louis Camrus, are here to celebrate this milestone. Diane and I are proud members of Isaac M. Wise Temple, where Rabbi Camrus is our senior rabbi. Through the years, we have enjoyed a loyal, wise, and fun-filled relationship with these very special and dear friends. Almost 120 years ago, when my father was about 6 years old, his family, like thousands of others, made a life-changing decision to leave the pogroms, anti-Semitism, and poverty of Eastern Europe, cross an ocean, and come to a far-off land speaking in a different language so that their children and their children's children could enjoy a better life. In 1904, my father and his family immigrated through Ellis Island to Lexington, Kentucky, where they established a small business known as Rosenberg's. Perhaps some of the older lawyers here purchased your engagement ring or first briefcase at my parents' business. Immigrating to America and this city was a bold decision with unforeseeable future. 40 years later, during World War II, my mother made a momentous decision for a young single woman of her day. She moved alone from her family in Tennessee to Lexington for a job managing a millinery department of a department store. Here in Lexington, during World War II, my parents met, married, worked together with other family members to succeed in a small family business and start a family of their own. They had 3 children, my older brother Ron, me, and my sister Judith. We have lived the American dream because of the bold decisions, hard work, and sacrifice of our parents and ancestors, and the opportunities made available by this country and a rule of justice and law. In our small family business, I had the opportunity to learn much about life, business, and meet many interesting, diverse residents of Lexington. My parents encouraged my intellectual curiosity. As a teenager, these experiences included meeting many attorneys with varied practices. One of the most memorable was U.S. District Judge Max Winford inviting me to come to his courtroom, join him in his chambers, and be inspired by his words about the legal profession. These experiences have been critical to my professional success, resulting today in our endowment of the College of Law. I hope those who follow will enjoy the same opportunities that I have had. I've had two formative experiences that have endeared me to the University of Kentucky. Law school was the second. The first was during high school. For 3 summers, I participated in the University of Kentucky's High School Debate Institute, run on this campus for 2 weeks each summer. It was there, along with my high school debate partner and longtime friend and attorney, Bob Beck. I saw you earlier, Bob. Oh, there. Good. Along with Bob, that we first learned lessons invaluable to a future lawyer. Preparation, research, evidence, logical reasoning, organized argument, and the importance of knowing both your complete brief and your opponent's brief. Perhaps anticipating that some of the Kentucky teenagers attending those summer debate institutes would someday attend law school, many of the sessions in the hot 1960s summers were held in the unair-conditioned Lafferty Hall, the former home of this law school. Perhaps a few of you attended law school in Lafferty Hall. In 1971, when I began law school in the first incarnation of this building, it was no surprise to greet a few fellow law students I had met nearly a decade earlier on this campus in the high school debate program. Which takes me to my second and most important experience at the University of Kentucky, law school. Starting in 1971 and graduating in 1973, I developed friendships with classmates and a few professors that endure to this day. My law school education at this College of Law in this city in which I grew up was the foundation for my success in law, finance, and as an engaged member of my community. I had many outstanding professors. Some are with us, even still teaching. Others have left a legacy in the hundreds of attorneys they educated. Professors Paul Oberst, Bert Ham, Garrett Fleckinger, Bob Lawson, Al Goldman, Bill Fortune, Steve Vasek, Biff Campbell, and others demanded preparation and intellectual rigor. These expectations remain the practice of today's College of Law faculty. Our school enjoyed a culture of camaraderie that continues today. Students regularly shared notes and outlines. The most famous set of class notes was the Hamogram, photocopied and passed down from year to year, student to students, of Bert Ham's corporations and contract classes. 2 generations of Kentucky business lawyers and judges kept a Hamogram at the ready in the bottom of their desk drawer. It's curious to me that the Hamogram was never cited as authority in a Kentucky court decision. I was fearful somebody might have shepherdized and told me that I didn't have that right as of today. In the investment realm, I am a value investor. By far, the best value I ever got was attending this law school. In 1971, my law school tuition for first semester was $165. It increased slightly to a little over $200 for my last semester in 1973. Had the cost of a legal education in 1971 been what it is today, and had this law school not been here in Lexington, Kentucky, it is likely I would not be an attorney. In my tradition, I believe we are called upon to complete the unfinished work of creation. We are instructed in the sacred text of the Talmud from 2,000 years ago. It is not up to you to complete the work, but neither are you free to desist from it. There is a saying that education is an unfinished symphony. We make music to stir hearts and minds, to force us to remember, and compel us to commit to ideas larger than ourselves. We invest in education to honor those upon whose shoulders we stand, who made our success possible, but also as an investment of faith in the future. The idea that what today's students will compose and create as lawyers, legislators, judges, and community leaders, ideas, laws, public policy, will deepen not only our understanding of the law, but how our society can be more just. Today, I realize a dream I've had for at least 20 years, since Bob Lawson, followed by Alan Vestal and David Brennan, started talking to me about the Capitol campaign for the law school building. While I was willing to participate in a building campaign, my passion was for what goes on within the building: students, professors, teaching. Our dream is to build upon this college's legacy of excellence, expand it for students, faculty, the state, and the nation it serves. Our faculty teaches students, but you also mentor them and provide an example for the power of law, the power of learning, the power of engagement of the world and in communities beyond these walls, and the paramount importance of justice. A pillar of our endowment provides for the continued development of outstanding faculty who will carry on for decades the strong legal education and scholarly research that is the hallmark of this University of Kentucky College of Law. Today is about students who will come here for decades into the future, although we will never know most of them. They are why we are here. They are the source of our optimism about today and for tomorrow. It is their potential, their intellect, and their commitment to law, justice, and service that give me confidence that anything is possible when we are able to ignite the passion and feed the bright minds of our students. This gift today is about law students and the future they will shape. For me and for my family, today is an opportunity to give back, to honor those who instilled in me a love and passion for the law and a love and passion for learning. To all our friends, faculty, and students joining us today, your presence means so much to us. And Dr. Capolito, and Chairman Vance, Dean Davis, I am so proud that President Capolito will be recommending that the College of Law be named for me. Thank you so much.
So that's a hard act to follow. I believe and I'm confident that I express for all of us at the UK College of Law, the university, students current and future and former, our profound gratitude for the generosity of David and Diane Rosenberg to the UK College of Law. To offer remarks on behalf of our faculty, we will now hear from our faculty colleague, always a current faculty colleague in our hearts, Professor Bob Lawson. As David Rosenberg said, Professor Lawson has impacted the lives of students for over 5 decades. I'm in my 3rd decade. 2 more seems like a pretty heavy lift. He's been the dean of the College of Law twice. He's known to every lawyer, every judge, every student of the law in this Commonwealth. He is much beloved and respected by this faculty, by all of his former students, members of the bench and bar widely. Please join me in welcoming someone who needs no introduction at the College of Law, Professor Bob Lawson.
Thank you very much. First thing I want to do is to thank Mary Davis for those nice remarks that she made about me. I don't agree with all of them. But I also want to thank her for giving me a chance to speak on this most important day for the college. Most important that I've seen since I've been here. And I've been here more than 50 years. The second thing that I want to do is to extend my appreciation to David and Diane for the tremendous gift, the unbelievable gift that they have made to the College of Law. I think that the support that the law school will get out of this is enormous, and it will come at a time when the help that they're going to give us is most needed. And I just want to say to them that what they've done is going to help this school tremendously. And in particular, it's going to help the school and the students in the school when the need for that help is the greatest. David was a student here in the college in the early 1970s, as he indicated, which just happened to be one of the toughest times in education in the country and in the state of Kentucky. During that time, the country was in a war in Vietnam, and that war created a division in the country that made its appearance in the college campuses across the country more than any place else. I'm sure that those of you who are my age will remember the Kent State event that ended up killing 4 students. Probably not too many of you will remember that the difficulty from that event found its way to the University of Kentucky campus, turned a protest into a riot, the burning of a building, and the arrival of National Guard troops on campus to calm things down. Now, I think that the difficulty of that time was significantly more troublesome for law students than it was for other students because of their age and because of the military draft that existed in the country. I was the dean of the law school at that time, served as an acting dean for 2 years during that period. And I saw students pulled out of the classroom in the middle of the year, sent into the military to serve 2 years of sentence, and on many occasions sent to Vietnam to fight in the war. The danger of this, I was able to observe, because I was the dean of the students, in the school and the students that existed in the school at the time. And I can tell you that the impression that I had of that group of students is hard to describe. So good that it was beyond anything that I have observed in the 50 years that I've been here. And so I must tell you that I'm not surprised that somebody who was in that group would step forward and provide help to the law school like has never been provided before. And I want to express my thanks for David and for Diane and for what they have done for the law school. Now, I did not have David in the classroom when he was a student here, because I was acting as the dean of the school and was not teaching very many classes. But I can tell you that I heard about David from all of my colleagues on the faculty in those days. And the only way to describe the way they described him was as one of the very best students in the law school at that time. Now, the other day, when I was asked to speak a little bit about him and about this event, I chased down the registrar in the law school and grabbed David's academic records. I don't think I violated his rights. But I can tell you that my colleagues on the faculty described him as one of the very best students in the school at that time. And the records that I found in the school confirmed every bit of that. David came to the school in 1971. He finished his legal education in 2.5 years. Took 5 full semesters and 2 full summer schools. And I found in that record that he was an exceptional student in every course that he took. And he was admitted to the Law Journal in his second year and served there 2 years, indicating the quality of his work. And in his last year, he was given the honors of Order of the Coif. And I think that it was near the end of 1973. He graduated from the law school and was at that time at or near the very top of his class. So he was a very good student. He very promptly took the bar exam and got his law license, and he headed down a road that was destined to give him an unbelievably productive career in the practice of law. He went to the law firm that he's in now in 1974, I believe. He had an interest in the practice of corporate law, corporate finance law, and I believe that he wrote a law review article about that while he was a student. And very quickly, David became successful in the practice of law. And he has a reputation based primarily in his work in the corporate finance field. And that's not nearly as important as what he has done in all of the community activities that he's done and the charitable work that he has done along with his wife for a long time, heavily around Cincinnati, but well beyond that. Now, before I talk about what he's done for the law school on this day and how much it means to the school, I want to tell you that this is not the only substantial charitable gift that David and Diane have made. They have been very generous for a very long time. And what they've done, for example, in 2015, they completed a gift of $1 million that went to the Cincinnati Parks Foundation. Now, it's not surprising to me, in light of all that I've seen about him and all that he's done, that he and Diane have done more for the law school and the generous contributions they've made than anyone has ever made in our 110 years of history. And I doubt that what he's done is likely to be surpassed for a long period of time. I hope it is, but I don't expect it to be. Now, before I finish my remarks, I want to express some of my strong feelings for the enormous support that they have given to the law school on this day through this effort. And I have some fairly strong feelings on that, and not everyone in here would agree with me. But I'm going to give you a little bit of history that I think the event of this day deals with. In 1966, when I joined the faculty of the law school to start my career in teaching, the state of Kentucky was paying 90% of the cost of operating the University of Kentucky during that year. And that fell to the benefit of the students of that time more than anything else. As David reminded you, his tuition in those days, and in the days when I started, which was 1966, was $200 a semester. Substantially less than $1,000 a year for a student connected to the state of Kentucky. Now, that situation existed for a very long time in the law school. Perhaps 15 years, maybe a little bit longer. In 1982, I started serving a 6-year term as dean of the law school. And at that point in time, the state of Kentucky was paying maybe 50 to 60% of the cost of operating the university for a year. And the burden of that decline had fallen on the students. No longer was the tuition $200 a semester. No longer was it in the hundreds of dollars, it was now in the thousands of dollars. But it was still, at that point in time, at a manageable level for most of the students in the law school. In 1982, though, it was very clear that things were changing. And as I looked down the horizon in that first year of my deanship, I could see that things were going to change in the days ahead. And as a result of that, because of that, I spent every spare minute of time that I had in the 6 years that I served as a dean, traveling across the state and beyond to visit with graduates of the law school, to ask them for their help for the school, and in particular, for help for the students of that time. At the end of the 6th year of my time, I can tell you that we had increased the number of donors to the law school by a very substantial amount. And I had been able to get started in the school, some modest professorships, and most importantly, a trust fund for scholarships for students. Now, if I took all of the money that I raised in that, with the help of staff, in that 6-year period, and put it in a single fund, it would be a small fraction of the contribution that David and Diane have made to the College of Law right now. If you come forward to today, the state of Kentucky is paying maybe 10% of the cost of operating the University of Kentucky. It could be even closer to 5%. And as a result of that, the need for support of the students of the college is greater than it has ever been. A student with connections to the state of Kentucky is now going to pay more than $20,000 a year in tuition. It's probably closer to 25 than to 20. Now, what David and Diane have done for the college is a tremendous help with respect to the needs of our students. I don't mean to say that it solves that problem. That problem is big and it's hard to solve. But what they've done is to do something that can help the students of the college with a cost that has become unbearable to them. And it can be done for a very long period of time, given the kind of gift and the kind of support that they are given to the College of Law on this occasion. And so I want to finish my remarks the way I started them. And that's to extend my deepest appreciation to David and Diane for doing more for the law school than any person has ever done, and I suspect more than anybody will be doing for a long period of time. Thank you very much, David and Diane.
Thank you, Professor Lawson. And that's a perfect segue to be hearing from our student representative. So much of the Rosenberg Law Endowment is going to be transformational for our students. And who better to address you than the Student Bar Association President, Ms. China Hibbets. China is, right, yeah, I know. Ms. Hibbets is a third-year law student from Prestonsburg, Kentucky. She is a shining example of the bright, hardworking, dedicated students that we have here that are driven to achieve their goals. Go on to class, that's good. Do that. It's really important. She's the communications editor of the Law Journal on top of her SBA president duties. She has an undergraduate degree in communication and sports administration from the University of Louisville. Very happy she's here in law school. Her goal is to be the president of the National Collegiate Athletic Association, and you can bet that she will. China Hibbets.
Dean Davis, thank you. On behalf of the Student Bar Association and the entire student body, I would like to thank Diane and David Rosenberg for their generous gift. The foundation of the UK College of Law is deeply rooted in academic excellence, precipitated by the students, faculty, staff, and the rest of the administration. During my time at the College of Law, I have witnessed firsthand the dedication to the mission of academic excellence, and with this gift, the College of Law will be able to maximize its potential and not only keep it as the best law school in the state of Kentucky, but one of the best in the nation. The road to excellence is always under construction, but it is something that is now more attainable. This gift will enhance programming, aid in recruitment of faculty and retention of current faculty and staff, while also generating an increasingly positive, learning conducive environment for the students who will filter through these hallways for decades to come. However, we would not be here without the tireless work and diligence of the Dean's administration and the generosity of David and Diane. So I will leave you with these words. Excellence is never an accident. It is always the result of high intention, sincere effort, and intelligent execution. It represents the wise choice of many alternatives. Choice, not chance, determines your destiny. Thank you, Diane and David, again for your generous donation, and we can't wait to continue the tradition of the J. David Rosenberg College of Law. Thank you.
In closing our ceremony today, I would like to share with you, excuse me, what I have come to understand about David Rosenberg and his story. As many have described to you, David Rosenberg's story is the story of a relentless, passionate commitment to excellence. Intellectually, professionally, and personally, through commitment to those causes and communities that have mattered to him and Diane throughout their lives. His story also, I believe, is the story of the University of Kentucky College of Law, an institution committed to excellence, driven by a talented faculty who provide an intellectually rigorous foundation upon which our talented students will build their lives as successful, intellectually curious lawyers who will make a difference to their causes and communities in the course of justice. David and Diane, thank you for your generosity to the College of Law. It will bear the fruit of your commitment to excellence for generations. Thank you again for joining us today to celebrate this transformational gift by the Rosenbergs to the University of Kentucky College of Law. Thank you, Chairman Vance. Thank you, President Capilouto. Thank you, Professor Lawson. Thank you, Ms. Hibbets. And thank you, David and Diane Rosenberg.